Good morning, everyone. My presentation today is called Rice University Budget Reset. Right up top is the main idea. Stable doesn't mean spend freely. That's the whole argument in one line. Rice isn't broke. This isn't a financial emergency. But just because the house isn't on fire doesn't mean we leave the oven on and walk away. I'm Sam, an avatar created by Randy Williams. I'm here to walk us through this and keep the focus on the people behind the numbers. The capstone is asking for three things: a budget plan, one hard cut, and a stakeholder strategy. My recommendation is straightforward. Protect the academic core and stop spending money on things that no longer clearly support the mission. From the financial audit, the headline is, Rice is financially stable, but discipline still matters. On the strength side, we've got four real advantages: diversified revenue, strong endowment and donor support, a solid research profile, and a selective admissions market. Those are genuine strengths. Rice isn't hanging by a single tuition thread the way a lot of other schools are. But the pressure side is real too. The audit keeps pointing to tuition discounting, inflation, facilities lifecycle costs, administrative growth, debt service, and research infrastructure. A diverse revenue mix lowers risk. It doesn't make risk disappear. And with the endowment, a lot of those funds are restricted. You can't just spend the endowment on whatever you want. So the story is balanced. Rice has capacity. Rice has trends. But even strong institutions need budget discipline. It's the pileup. The audit looked at a 5% enrollment drop. On its own, that would create pressure, but it probably wouldn't threaten solvency, because tuition is only about a quarter to a third of operating expenses. So a 5% enrollment decline creates roughly a 1.25% to 1.65% exposure on total operating expenses. That's important. I'm not saying Rice loses 5% of the whole budget. But when you stack an enrollment dip on top of higher discounting, inflation, debt, and facilities costs, now you're carrying a heavier backpack. One book is fine. 10 books, a laptop, and a water bottle. You feel it. That's why my response isn't panic. It's recurring discipline. Act while you still have choice and credibility. I'm using an illustrative 1.5% recurring budget reset. That's a planning target, not an audited finding that says there's exactly 1.5% of waste sitting around. It's large enough to matter, but not so large that it damages the academic core. Where could it come from? Administrative growth review, procurement and technology contracts, a low enrollment program sunset, and better space utilization plus energy controls. Then we reinvest those dollars into financial aid, faculty competitiveness, research compliance, and student success. The principle is simple. Every cut needs a mission explanation, a plan to protect students, and measurable follow-through. The unpopular cut nobody puts on the admissions brochure. The recommendation is to stop admitting new students into one persistently low enrollment major or standalone track if it fails a fair review on mission, demand, cost, and outcomes. I'm not naming a specific Rice major. The audit doesn't identify one, and making one up would be irresponsible. The decision rules are clear: 3-year enrollment and completion trends, cost per graduate versus mission value, labor market or graduate school demand, ability to consolidate into another program, and faculty senate review before any final vote. And the safeguards matter just as much as the cut itself. Teach out current students, protect degree progress and accreditation, redeploy faculty through attrition or reassignment when possible, and reinvest the savings into high-demand priorities. If a program serves very few students while high-demand courses are full, the budget may be protecting tradition more than mission. But they're often lazy. They make strong programs and weak programs a little worse at the same rate. A targeted reset is more honest. Cut or slow, low enrollment standalone tracks that can't justify their cost, administrative growth without clear mission outcomes, underutilized space that creates lifecycle costs, and duplicative contracts or software. Protect and invest. High-quality teaching, competitive faculty compensation and retention, need-based aid and student access, research compliance, safety, and student support. Budget credibility comes from being willing to say both no and yes, and still fail if the people who have to live with it don't trust the process. Faculty Senate is high influence and high concern. Their fear isn't just losing money, it's losing voice. They need transparency, real faculty input, and no hidden academic cuts. The president's cabinet needs risk control, credible savings, and a clear implementation timeline. Students and families need teach-out plans, degree progress protection, and affordability. Staff need clarity on workload. Donors and alumni need a mission narrative, not panic messaging. So we start with the highest influence skeptics, Faculty Senate and the Cabinet. To Faculty Senate, this isn't an attack on faculty. It's protection against future across-the-board cuts. Put the program review rubric in writing before any votes. Guarantee teach-outs. Use the savings to protect instruction and student success. To the President's Cabinet, this is a controlled reset that protects credit strength and strategic flexibility. Show the recurring savings, the timeline, the risks, the decision owners, and how every reinvestment ties to measurable outcomes. Common message for both. Protect the academic core by ending spending that no longer proves mission value. Rushed or endless. So here's a 100-day path. Days 1 through 20. Publish the criteria and launch the data review. Explain the financial picture plainly. No scare tactics. Days 21 through 45. Faculty Senate consultation and cabinet risk review. Days 46 through 70. Name the proposed cut and draft the teach-out plan. This is the most sensitive stage. Communication has to be specific, respectful, and student-centered. Days 71 through 90. Finalize the savings and identify the reinvestments. Days 91 through 100. Board and cabinet action and launch a public dashboard. Track the things that actually matter. Recurring savings achieved, student teach-out progress, instructional reinvestment dollars, faculty and staff workload impact, and space and lifecycle cost reduction. Approve a disciplined budget reset that protects the academic core. 1. Set a recurring savings target. 2. Make one hard, database cut. 3. Reinvest in mission priorities. If you only cut, the story becomes fear. If you only reinvest without discipline, it becomes wishful thinking. The responsible path is both. This isn't a panic budget. It's a mission protection budget. Rice looks financially stable, but the audit shows why long-term discipline still matters. Thank you. I'm Sam. Avatar created by Randy Williams, and I was built to help explain the numbers while reminding us that every budget decision affects real people who are learning, leading, and serving. Thanks for listening.